Isaac's army would have won. During our journey as Ellie, we noticed that there was a war going on between the WLF Washington Liberation Front and the Seraphites, also known as Scars. The WLF started out as a small group led by a man named Isaac Dixon, who was one of thousands in Seattle that hated Fedra for their fascism. Over time, the WLF grew in numbers as attacks against Fedra soldiers and outposts proved successful, until eventually Fedra was completely overthrown. During the rebellion, a group operating in the suburbs of Seattle named the Seraphites were also quickly rising in numbers. Their leader was a woman who was known as the Prophet. She had a vision that the cordyceps brain infection was a direct punishment for the sins of man, which caused her to live a nomadic lifestyle. She convinced her followers to renounce their old lifestyles that depended on technology and demanded that they cut scars across their faces as a type of penance for their prior sins. Word of the Prophet's wisdom quickly spread throughout the suburbs, and hundreds of people joined the Scars. Eventually, the Scars came across WLF members as they continued expanding, and conflict quickly ensued. After a few skirmishes and soldiers killed on both sides, the WLF eventually was able to capture the Prophet. During her time as a prisoner, the Prophet became friends with the soldiers holding her prisoners and began convincing them to join her cause. Seeing this as an act of tyranny, Isaac made his first major mistake and decided that the best course of action going forward was to publicly execute her. After her execution, the Prophet became a martyr to the Seraphites, and they declared an all-out war on the WLF, which led to heavy casualties until eventually a truce was made between the two factions. The WLF agreed to not attack the island that the majority of the Scars lived on, and in exchange, the Scars agreed to stop attacking their trucks and supply routes. After a brief time of peace, the truce was broken. War broke out again, and Isaac decided to attack the Scars Island, which turned out to be a disaster because it was only with a handful of soldiers and in broad daylight. During that time, Isaac accepted a group of former Fireflies to his cause, which included Owen and Abby. Isaac took a liking to Abby as her anger due to her father's death led her to work out obsessively. Abby quickly became
Isaac's top Scar killer.
Her strength and brutality made her a feared opponent against the Scars, which Isaac had never had before. Owen was an effective leader among the Salt Lake crew and was also skilled at fighting Scars. With Isaac's newly appointed lieutenants and thousands of new recruits willing to fight the Scars, he made the official decision to eliminate the Scars for good. Before he could tell Abby his plan, a soldier named Danny was found severely wounded outside the WLF perimeter fence. Danny had been out on patrol with Owen and told Isaac before he died that Owen shot him in order to protect a Scar. This caused Owen to go AWOL from the WLF, which concerned Abby greatly. Back at their main base, Isaac had a meeting with Abby and her friend Menny. He told them that the skirmishes between the Scars and the WLF had to end once and for all. Isaac made a good point in saying that another truce would only last until a member from either his or their side broke it. Isaac proposed that with the help of Abby and Danny, the best plan was to attack the Scars on their island again, but this time using a massive storm to mask their approach. Abby appeared to be more interested in finding Owen, and when she suggested sending out a team to look for him, Isaac immediately shot her down. He explained the importance of ending the war and how he depended on her to lead the soldiers into battle. Abby then took it upon herself to disobey Isaac's orders and set off on a journey to find Owen at the aquarium. Of course, Abby ends up getting captured by Scars and then rescued by Lev and blah blah. You know how that story goes. Now think about this from Isaac's perspective. His two top Scar killers have gone completely AWOL and most likely are assumed to be either dead or captured. Manny's crew were all taken out by Tommy, and then Manny himself was killed, which meant that the first wave was already going to be a guaranteed disaster. But I haven't even gotten into the main reason why the plan failed as a direct result of Abby. The WLF was able to catch the Scars off guard when they attacked the island. The initial assault went well, even though Abby and Manny weren't present for it. Everything fell apart when Isaac confronted Abby, who was trying to help Lev and Yara escape the island.
Isaac.
What the hell are you doing?
I need you to hear me out.
What's that behind you?
He saved my life.
Move out of the way. We'll deal with you back home.
He's not one of them, please.
Abby, move.
God damn it, he's just a kid!
You have 3 seconds to get away from that Scar. 1.
You really gonna shoot me? I'm not fucking moving. No!
What the fuck?
After Isaac's death, Abby full-on turned against her own comrades and started murdering them in an attempt to save Lev, which just goes to show how much of a horrible person she always was. Now that you understand why the plan failed, let me explain why it was actually supposed to work. The WLF had the advantage of more soldiers than the Scars. Even after Ellie and Tommy killed a couple hundred of them, the WLF was said to have thousands, which meant that during the fight they outnumbered the Scars by a lot. The WLF also had more firepower and ammunition than the Scars since they were a military organization, and the Seraphites were primivists. Like I said before, Manny and Abby were supposed to lead the first wave into battle, which would have been a huge confidence boost for the troops considering Abby is a one-woman army, capable of taking out hundreds of Scars single-handedly. Now imagine being a WLF soldier on the day of the assault. You already know that Abby and Owen have all gone AWOL, which would be demoralizing. Then you find out later that your commander and leader has been murdered essentially by Abby, since she was the one who brought Yara onto the island in the first place in order to rescue Lev. And finally, to top it all off, you see Abby murder your own squad members. Is it really a surprise that the Scars ended up winning? Yes, it was stupid to attack them on their home base, but I can't blame Isaac for thinking that it would work. He was relying on soldiers that had been fighting for the WLF for years. How could he have possibly anticipated that his top lieutenant would turn against him in the rest of the WLF? Also, I noticed that during the attack, there wasn't a single dog in sight, even though when we played as Ellie, the WLF used them against us. So I was a little confused about that. Maybe the boats only had enough room for the soldiers? In conclusion, Isaac was an imperfect leader who did what he thought was best for his militia, and Abby being Abby not only doomed him, but all of her friends and companions. Do you think if everything went according to plan, the WLF would have still lost? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and please consider subscribing. This channel is very close to 1,000 subscribers,